Hey guys, what is going on? I'm here with another custom race. I was doing this a while ago in my Jeep, but I still need more money to upgrade the Mazda Demio for Route X Lap Attack, so we're just going to spend a little bit more money here and there to try and upgrade the transmission and maybe get a few other things. I find it amusing too that you cannot get a supercharger. I think the engine is already supercharged to begin with, or turbocharged. And you got an intercooler right here. I actually think it wasn't turbocharged, because if it was, then I'd be able to get this, and it says I cannot. Alright, so let's get our transmission here. Oh yeah, it even says aspiration, turbo. And I think maybe we'll get this as well, just for the hell of it. Increase our horsepower a little bit and go play with the transmission and get things ready. Now, I was trying to record the first race I did with this Jeep, but unfortunately, during its inaugural run, I accidentally had my headset. I didn't realize that the mic was up instead of down, so while I was talking, you could barely hear what I was saying. But now, everything is properly where it needs to be, and we will modify this. Maybe 180. Because this is in kilometers an hour, and I think we should be able to get at least to 90 miles an hour, or maybe 100. And as long as we're able to go over 70, that's all I care about. Now, this thing's not fully upgraded, but we will get there one day, and who knows, maybe we'll have this thing on Route X Lap Attack. I was also considering doing a dirt version of Route X Lap Attack, but instead of Route X Lap Attack, obviously, it would have to be on a dirt track, and I was thinking of doing the track we're about to go on right now, Colorado Springs. We'll keep it right there. We'll get ourselves another 54,000. With the adjustments I make here. No boost. One person said that you are able to make the AI more competitive if you have the boost to weak, but you know, I'm old school. Boost is for wimps, and I don't feel like doing that. Plus, if you just select your cars from your garage like what I just did, I was planning on doing a one-make race anyway, so this will make things more challenging if I have it like this. And then we'll put it on professional. Turn everything in this section off, and we're ready. A funny thing I also noticed, every AI driver you see in the Jeep, they have an outfit that kind of makes them look like paratroopers, because as you know, all drivers have to wear a helmet and a fire suit, but the way that their suits match the paint on the Jeeps and the fact that they have black helmets, you'd think they were like a halo jumper for special forces or something. You see what I'm talking about here? We got one of those drivers right next to us right now. They've got the green and black. Whoa. Oh my goodness. Oh, I did not want to do that. But listening to the sound of the engine, that is awesome. I've heard many Jeeps like this before in real life. For several years, they had a few of these pop up sometimes during Flemington's Auto Show on Saturdays. You'd go to Main Street from the bank where the Black River and Western crosses Main Street to, like, I think the post office, and you would see a variety of classic cars from like the 80s, and I think the oldest car was a Model A from 1930. But besides the Jeeps, they also had a couple of other military vehicles. Like, I don't know what the name of these vehicles are, but they have, like, it's not a tank. They have treads, but what it is pretty much is like a much smaller vehicle than a Jeep. And then you also have, like, some of those vehicles that have four wheels, but all it is pretty much is like a cart. Like, you have a steering wheel and a seat, but there's nothing on it. You're literally just driving a goddamn cart. It's awesome. They also say there's beauty in simplicity. I think that's why the military made it like that. Just a small, flat cart with nothing on it except for a steering wheel and a driver's seat. And of course the pedals to make the cart go or stop. Then I also saw several of these at World War II weekend in Reading. Now this was an air show, so most of the attention of course was on airplanes, but they still had some Jeeps, as I said earlier. There were also a couple of other vehicles like Shermans. There was even a fire truck I saw. And there was even a 1941 Ford masquerading a Nazi truck. It was disguised as an Opel Blitz. And I'm so used to the way I had this set up earlier without the transmission. I pretty much stayed in third gear because, you know, when you get to 45 miles an hour in second gear, that's when the RPM gets too high and you have to go into third. And I was able to keep the Jeep between 50 and 70 throughout the entirety of the course. And there's William Tell. This isn't my favorite version of the song, but it's still fun to listen to. Whoa! I just went on two wheels there. Holy crap. Man, this is what the Jeep was built for. You know, you just go through a bunch of difficult terrain and you stay in one piece. I mean, this thing's not built for speed. It doesn't have to be fast. You just got to go over these jumps, bumps, whatever else nature throws at you, and you just keep going. Funny enough, Ford actually tried building the Jeep first. They called it the GPW. And as you can probably tell, GP stands for general purpose, but instead of just saying general purpose over and over again, they just decided to shorten it to Jeep. I don't remember what the W stood for when Ford was making it. But unfortunately, they lost a contract to Willis, and they pretty much kept making the Jeep until the 50s. They merged with Kaiser, and then AMC took over at one point, and then they were absorbed into Chrysler, and Chrysler's had the rights to Jeep ever since 1987. Which is interesting because you look at Dodge, they also had a truck similar to the Jeep during World War II, and you look at a couple of the trucks they've made, or not trucks, a couple of those crossovers like the Nitro, they are quite similar to a Jeep. Dodge doesn't even make trucks anymore. They decided to make a new company. Chrysler wanted to have their own version of GMC and make Ram its own company now. And then even though Ford lost a contract to Jeep, or to make the Jeep, they did make a couple of vehicles similar to the Jeep. Everyone knows the Bronco. That's a pretty good off-roading vehicle, and I forgot to shift into second there. And During the Vietnam War, they also had a vehicle called the Mutt. I don't know how long that vehicle was in production for, and I don't even know when they started, but I'd like to say the Vietnam War. I'll have to look that up on Google. Ooh. I just flew under a drone. That's one thing you may have noticed. You'll see a few drones here and there as some of these bystanders standing near the track like to film you with these drones. Now I want to see if I can duplicate that last jump I did while I was talking about the Mutt. That was really impressive. I didn't think I was going to go that high in the air. But I did also decrease the weight on this car. Just flew under another drone, and now for some reason I've got hiccups, and I had to burp there. I apologize for that. Trouble is, I don't remember the exact spot where I did the jump. It could have been after the curve here, I think. No, the straightaway was longer. Maybe we'll get there after this curve. Okay, yeah, it was this one. Whoa, that was awesome. I mean, I know I already did that on the last lap, but that was fun. And as I said, that's what the Jeep's built for. You know, you don't have to worry about going fast in this thing. That is a bonus, but that's not what this thing was built for. Normally, these things come with a roof. You may have noticed I was able to take it off, and I decided to put something on the front. Now, obviously, I'm not able to tow any vehicles. It doesn't give you that option in Gran Turismo, but I figured, what the heck, let's put a towing thing on here just for the hell of it. And on sports cars, they do give you the option to put tow hooks on there. So if you can do that for like a Maserati or a Nissan or a Mustang, why not do it for a Jeep? And I just can't get over the sound of that turbo. That is awesome. All right, that was another good jump there. You know, something else I've been meaning to do? You might have remembered seeing this in Gran Turismo Sport, but I painted my Volkswagen bus to look like a military vehicle. That was a pretty cool concept. I'm happy I did. But the shade of green I chose wasn't as good compared to this. But now that you can actually buy the olive drab color when you're at GT Auto, I can put the bus in that color and make it look like a proper military vehicle. I mean, I don't know why, but the bus, I think, would be a good military vehicle, especially if you needed like some kind of ambulance. I mean, it more or less has the same performance as a Jeep. I'm sure if I were able to put dirt tires on it, hell, maybe I could even not run a Jeep. Whoa! Oh, shit, I forgot about the jump in that section. That was crazy. Just imagine, though, there's no seatbelts on this thing, and if you can somehow stay in this thing without falling off on a jump like that in real life, I would be impressed. But that's also why I prefer doing these kind of stunts in video games as opposed to real life. If there is something bad that happens, you're at least doing it to something in a simulation and not the real thing. Oh, nice. Now you might also remember when I was doing the Fisherman's Ranch race in my Ford F-150, I mentioned how I'd like to see a few more SUVs and trucks. I mean, you already got this Jeep here, why not get a few more, just for the hell of it? Get like the CJs from the 80s, the Wrangler, maybe even a Grand Cherokee or the normal Cherokee, just to have some more variety here and there. Or maybe they'll do that in the Crew Motorfest. I've noticed, I saw not the whole trailer, but a little bit of it. And I saw a Toyota truck. I want to say it was the Tacoma, but I could be wrong. It did look like a Tacoma. And I saw that going off-road, so if you can get a Tacoma, I'm sure you can get some more Jeeps. I know there's a couple of Jeeps already in the Crew 2 you can drive, as well as the first The Crew game that came out in 2014. But I don't know, something about the Crew 2, I feel like it's much better than the original. Maybe it's because of the variety of vehicles you can drive, like helicopters, motorcycles, boats, and why can't I remember? Hovercraft. I gotta start playing the Crew 2 again. I actually have, a few days ago, I saw they did an update where you can buy a 1951 Chevrolet 3100, a pickup truck, and there's also a 1949 Cadillac Coupe de Ville. I painted mine in dark green. I was thinking of doing bright green, kind of like what I did with the one car based off of that vehicle, Mafia 2. I'll get some more videos from that game as well if I can. Like Mafia 2, I think, is one of the greatest games of all time. Especially if you like open world stuff. I would do the rest of the 20th Century Fox fanfare, but I don't feel like spinning the car out and hitting the barricades. I don't even know why I'm calling this thing a car. It's a Jeep. Well, technically, when you look at the name of the car, they call it the 1945 Willys MB. Now, I could be wrong, but I think it would be amusing if MB stood for my bad. Like, when they send an apology letter to Ford, like, my bad, we didn't mean to steal your fame and glory, but we are better at building this than you are. These things are really popular with the British as well. I mean, after World War II, some of the British farmers even used them as tractors. Let that sink in for a minute. A military vehicle being used for farm work. But hey, that's why they call this thing a Jeep. General purpose, used for a variety of different things. It even inspired the naming of a diesel that EMD built. Well, actually a series of diesels between 1949 and 1994. They had a series of locomotives called General Purpose, like the GP7, GP9, GP35, GP40. Great locomotives too. There's a reason why many of them are still in service today, especially the 9s. Like, you got one in the Black River Western, the 752. One of my favorite diesels on that railroad too, especially because it's like the only red engine they have. And I don't know why, after seeing a bunch of black switchers and a couple of green ones here and there too, just something about a red GP9 I think is nice. It's just cool to see. And then you look at the Belvedere in Delaware, they've got a GP9 as well, the 811. And even though it's never served on the Black River and Western, it actually does have lettering for that railroad. Ooh, I almost hit the rock there. I'm so glad I dodged that. We've got a 12-second lead anyway, so even if I did screw up, we'd probably still be able to win. I'm surprised, though, with all the modifications I've done, and the fact that I'm doing a one-make race with every other Jeep modified exactly like mine, I'm surprised that none of these guys can catch up. I mean, you remember the last... Whoa, crap, that was crazy. But like I was saying, you remember the last race I did? We had a variety of different cars during our last race that I chose for my garage, and I had no boost or any special slipstream or any of that, and I got second place. I lost to a Corvette. But hey, you know, I was in a Mustang, so it was probably going to happen either way, but still, I'm really surprised that these guys cannot catch up. They have the same modifications that I do, or maybe I'm just better at negotiating these curves. They probably slow down to like 50 or 45. They're like, okay, we're being safe. We don't want to go sideways. But sometimes, in order to negotiate a curve, you have to go sideways. Like, I understand if you don't want to risk spinning out and hitting all these obstacles, but you gotta go sideways on these turns. Not this one. It's fine if you go like what I just did, but on a sharp one like this, sometimes it helps to lose control. I just thought of something else. Now, there's been a lot of theories about the Disney movie Cars here and there. There's even one car we see where you can look inside the interior, and instead of having the eyes on the windshield like every other car in the movie, this is the sequel, by the way, Cars 2. I think it's an Alfa Romeo or some kind of sports car like that. You see that the eyes are actually on the headlights instead. Similar to what they did in the Brave Little Toaster. That wasn't a bad drift. That could have been a little better, but could have been worse. Now I'm interested. I mentioned the Mutt and Bronco. I wonder if Ford's going to complain to Gran Turismo and be like, excuse us, we are posh, perfect manufacturers. We need more presence in your game. Please put in the Mutt and Bronco at once. Now, I understand if you're going to have some people being like, hey, Ford's not British, they're American. But I actually learned an interesting fact. Henry Ford himself was actually British. And that would probably explain why they're the most popular car right now in the United Kingdom. They're showing respect, paying tribute to the past, and buying cars from a company owned by a British person. Oh, that was a nice jump too. And Ford, I feel like, are exactly like British people. They got a lot of attention, and you see them a lot in movies, shows, like literally everywhere. Not a bad thing. I mean, they can be a little overrated, but it really could be worse. I've got nothing against the British. I've got nothing against Ford. I respect both of them. And at the same time, though, there are other things I'd like to see, you know. There's also a reason why a lot of people are saying, hey, we need more diversity. Man, I can never get enough of seeing that Jeep trying to get on two wheels and the driver somehow manages to stay in without falling out. As I said, if you can somehow manage that in real life, I've got nothing but respect for you. That is impressive. And it makes you wonder, some people actually modify their Jeeps. Not just these, but also like modern Jeeps. I haven't seen this recently, but there have been a variety of brand new Jeeps I've seen 2 or 3 years ago where they take the doors off on purpose. It just makes you wonder how they just manage to stay in without falling out. I mean, you probably have safety harnesses or seat belts in some of them after the doors are removed. But old-fashioned ones like this don't have seat belts. And I don't even think he's wearing a safety harness either. I see black stripes on his suit, but I think that's actually part of the suit itself, not something to keep him inside in case it goes sideways or whatever. I've been having so much fun talking about all these different things, I didn't even realize we're close to the last lap. Still can't get enough of that engine. Sounds beautiful. Oops. Downshifted too early. Maybe we don't even need the downshift. And I spoke too soon. I wanted to try and use the emergency brakes there. I didn't want to risk having it not go far enough to the right and end up going in pit and lose my lead. Which is 18 seconds, by the way. I'm really impressed I made it this far. Very far ahead. Whew. Oh, crap. Oh, I don't know how I survived, or I don't know how I managed not to hit anything there. That was awesome. We lost the fastest lap time, though, to a Spaniard named M. Conde. I don't get why they show the last name of a driver, but not the first. But I'm going to go on a random guess here and say that the guy's first name is Marlon. I don't know anyone from Spain named Marlon, or if anyone of Spanish heritage would want to have that name, but that's all I can think of. Maybe Mario, but I want to be original, and besides, that's Italian. It's me, Mario. I wonder if he would drive a Jeep. I mean, I played Mario Kart 8 with a couple of my friends. I had him driving a Mercedes sports car from the 50s. Sure, if Nintendo got the licensing from Jeep in an update, or maybe in Mario Kart 9, you could probably have Mario drive a Jeep. That would be pretty fun. But yeah, we got another pretty good win there. And another 54,000. I might need more than what I have now to fully upgrade the Mazda Demio, but I'm happy with what I got. And just seeing 20 Jeeps. Well, technically I was in 7th, so I only saw, like, not the whole 20, but looking at this now, God, that was fun. I did this once in a mission, but I was only racing 3 other Jeeps, and I wasn't using my own Jeep. It was like something they gave me. So, you can't blame me for wanting to do this as a custom race. Ooh. If I didn't do that, I probably could have gotten more money as a clean bonus. But that was lots of fun. And in case you're wondering, that livery I have for my Jeep, I don't know why I keep calling it a car, I apologize, but the livery I got, you can get in the Styles thing. I can't remember who made it. I know somebody from Japan did it, but you can find it when you go, wait for it, here. And then all you got to do is just go to content search, look up all the liveries, and you'll see there's a lot of great stuff here. Not all of it military related. You got a few random things. What the fuck is that? Okay, I'm gonna end the video now because I need to vomit, and I will see you guys in another video.